Hi, this is Gustavo Oliveira, and this lesson is about intervallic pentatonic licks. The prerequisite of this lesson is basic knowledge of the pentatonic scale in various keys. Therefore, I'm not going to cover the basics of pentatonics in here. However, to demonstrate the technique, I'm going to use the E minor pentatonic, starting on the 12th fret and starting on the 15th fret. Let me quickly show the patterns I use so you can follow the remainder of the lesson. So the first pattern goes starting on the 12th fret, going up, going down, starting on the 17th fret, going up, going down. So those are the patterns I use. The main idea is to look at the same pentatonic notes but using a different approach, which is to explore wide intervals inside the scale. For you to understand better, let me digress a bit and look at how most of us learn how to solo. Usually when we start learning how to solo, the first steps to learn those scale patterns, those basic patterns, and then we play the notes up and down, trying to come up with some melodies. So it sounds something like this. Unfortunately, it sounds very basic and boring. Then we usually learn some melodic patterns, and we try them out. Things like nonetheless, it's still very bare bones and not very musical. Then things start getting a little more interesting when you learn things like bends, vibratos, pull-offs, those guitar techniques, and you start having a little more fun. Let me turn on the overdrive to help me out. Things like things like that. Finally, we learn blues and rock licks, usually from our favorite guitars, and we try to incorporate these licks in our vocabulary, and we start really having fun and reaching a different level of playing. Some of the licks. Things like that. At this point, some guitarists just go in that direction. What they do, they keep learning more and more licks, widening their vocabulary. So what's next? There's always something next in music. It's endless. You can think of intervallic pentatonic licks as the next step. This is because if you analyze carefully all that stuff you've learned the past years, you see that most of this material has something in common, which they really do not explore wide intervals inside the scale. In other words, if you look at these examples I just showed, and many others that you have, and try to analyze them, you see most of them are based in seconds and thirds. You play a fourth here and there, but it's mostly based on smaller intervals. And I'm going to let me analyze a little bit of them, and you see, for instance, licks like. So what are you doing here? Just a second. You're bending to a second, or those melodic parts. You're going in thirds in seconds, or you got a fourth here, but it's a minor third, and all these bands. Pretty much all these bands, you're not gonna bend really wide. It's always half step, whole step, or a little bit bigger, but it's still pretty self-contained. And I can saying again, like a third here, some vibratos and seconds. So as you can see, most of these licks, they really do not explore wide intervals. Therefore, it's harder even to come up with something new, simply because the ingredients that you use for these licks, they are all the same. And that's basically the limitation. In this section, I will show you a different melodic pattern and few licks that explore wide intervals as opposed to the ones I've shown you before. I will show them again in the next section as a close-up so that you can see more careful in playing in case you want to practice them and study them later. I will also try to analyze these ideas harmonically, in terms of harmonic intervals, to clarify what's going on. Okay, let's first look at this melodic pattern. It's pretty cool. Basically, it jumps into 6 and 7ths over the pentatonic scale. It goes like this, going up, going down, again going up, going down. Okay, you see, it's the same pentatonic scale. I'm not playing anything different. It's the same exact notes, same pentatonic notes. The only difference is that I'm using wide intervals to create this new effect again. Okay, let's now look at few licks. I'll turn the overdrive on. It sounds a little cooler, more of the rock feel. First lick I like a lot, which is basically jumps into fourths, basically fourths. It goes like this. And another one that's pretty cool, I like a lot. It's basically a fifth, a fourth, and a fifth. Fifth, fourth, and fifth. And it goes like this. Alright, and last one that I want to show you in this lesson, which is basically a fourth, and a second. So it goes like this. I'm using a second here, but if you look at most of the time, most of the intervals are wide. I'm playing fourth, and a second. But in all of them, what you need to understand is that I'm actually breaking the pattern of using seconds and thirds. In fact, it's the opposite. In all of these licks, I mostly use wide intervals, fourths, fifths, sixths, and sevenths. Even this one, it's 2 fourths and a second. And that's basically the idea.